stupid, but you gotta rewind time a little.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Collins.
Here.
Blue.
Here.
Hines.
Here.
Snyder.
Here.
Garmin.
Here.
And Six. Council was provided minutes from the general council meeting on May 4th. Any amendments? Hearing none, minutes stand approved. Takes us into public speaks. Mr. Showalter.
I guess you don't have anybody that's going to contend your project. The cameras are now installed and have made such an improvement. It's unbelievable. The decibel noise for one, and to get the mail for two is just something. And yeah, it's going to be a safety benefit for the kids that are on the block and everybody in the neighborhood. So I'm sure if it's that way on this end of the town, the rest of it's the same way. So I knew it took a long time, but I watched them. They did a professional job. There wasn't some half whatever, but they did a very good job. In 44 years, I've never heard it this quiet and this low. So
Well, we're going to continue to maintain our presence out there.
and
So
the other thing is to mention presence that my wife and I appreciate that it's almost daily now. Instead of turning around down at the landfill, just turn around in the driveway. You're more than welcome. Sit there a couple minutes, just show your presence. That's all I ask. And
Appreciate
that's what
that.
you've been doing. I appreciate it.
sure thing.
So, and I wasn't sure if anybody else was going to complain about it, but just for the mayor and council, if they have any questions, they'll be free to call me. And don't blame, oh, it's just a money thing. I don't care about the money. Maybe there will be a money thing, but it's a safety thing. So if they have any questions, feel free to contact me or my wife.
Thank you.
I
So
appreciate that.
that's all I got to say.
Mr. McGee.
Yes. Like every other resident of the village of East Canton, I received a nice postcard in the mail from the police department about your new traffic cameras. And down at the bottom, it says, if you have any questions, please see your website.
Yep.
So I went to the website and looked up the ordinance, 2025-12. And apparently nobody here has actually looked at it because there's no page 2. I have pulled it up multiple times and there's no page 2. So someone needs to maybe look at that and update that so that if anybody else, I'm probably the only one that's ever looked at it. So if there's somebody else that might want to look at it, page 2 would be nice. And from what I gather, just got questions.
Yeah.
As a for instance, on 70.10, the violation for a minor speed violation would be $175. And I know most, from what I read, everything is going through Canton Municipal Court. Is that correct?
For the speed cameras, yes.
Okay. So for the $175, how much of that will be coming back into the village for revenue?
Okay. So the 175, 25 would go to Canton for the processing of the case. That takes it down to 150. Of the 150,
20.
there's 20, I'm sorry, 155. Of the 155, 60% of that would come back to the village. 40% would go to the processing company.
Now, that $175, that includes the court cost too?
Yes, that's all inclusive. Yeah. That's where the $20 comes in for Canton.
Okay. So with that being said, that everything's going basically through Canton Municipal Court.
Everything through the speed cameras.
Okay.
The
So have you actually read the ordinance, Mayor?
ordinance that was read through in open council is.
The question was, have you, since you're in charge of the police department, have you actually read
Last year-
all 12 pages of that ordinance.
Last year, in 2025, at the time we were considering it, yes, I read through it.
You read through it.
Yes.
Okay. Council people, did you actually read through the 12 pages of that ordinance?
I did not.
Did any council people read any of the ordinance?
I read some of it, but not 12 pages.
That's your job.
In fairness,
So
Mr. McGee, she was not on council at the time.
well, it's everybody's job.
It's everybody's
It's
job, but she
everybody's
was
job.
not on council. She was not.
So, if you would, well, the last page, page 12 of this document, if you notice on the very last page, it is signed, of course, by the mayor, and it is also signed that not only was there one rating, there's 2 ratings, there was 3 ratings.
Mhm.
You need to change that, and it needs to say first reading by title only, because nobody here actually read it. I did. And I'm sure Kurt and Nick will remember, when I was mayor here, a lot of times I would read through the whole ordinance out loud. And that wasn't done. Here's why. If you would pull up your book of ordinances or look online on page 11, 70.10, collection civil penalty, paragraph A. In the event that the registered owner or designated party fails to take action set forth in this chapter, or fails to satisfy any liability determined by the Worcester Municipal Court for the penalties established under this chapter, and the time to appeal such decision has passed without filing an appeal, the village may request and/or receive a judgment from the Worcester Municipal Court against the owner or designated party for the amount owed under this chapter plus any applicable post-judgment interest. Now, I know Solicitor Hall, whenever there is a document or an ordinance that the village needed, he would take from another village or another city or another jurisdiction, and he would copy and paste. He would remove things that he'd copy and paste. Obviously, he cut and paste on this one, and obviously, he never proofread his own document before he submitted it. So I submit that nobody in the village bothered to take the time to read this ordinance. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. This is wrong. So really what that means is if I wanted to contest something, it's invalid. I could have put New Orleans on here. I could have put Orlando. I could have put any city. It needs to be Canton Municipal Court. Something's gone wrong here in the village.
Okay, well, we'll take that into consideration. We'll look into it.
Yeah, I think we should move on it very quickly.
Yeah, we will, absolutely. If
Have an emergency something because it's going to be enacted very quickly.
No, we appreciate bringing it forward. We'll definitely review that, and corrections are needed. We'll take action.
I appreciate that
Absolutely.
because I was the one, if going back in time, 20 years ago, I brought this before council over 20 years ago to come up with these cameras. Remember that, Nick?
Yeah,
We talked about it and we discussed it and, it never went anywhere. So this, as you have witnessed,
Yeah.
you've seen a change.
yes, I have.
So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but by gosh, this is what you guys are supposed to be doing. It's called a reading of an ordinance, and somebody needs to actually read the thing.
That's fair. If there was a copy paste or a typo, it should have been caught. I'll take ownership of that, and we'll go through, and if it needs corrected, we'll correct it.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would stay, but I gotta go back and get ready for vacation, so I'd stay. But I thought somebody needs to bring this up, because otherwise it's gonna be contested, and you guys are gonna find out after the fact.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate you bringing it forward. Appreciate you taking the time. You have a great vacation, sir.
Oh, I plan on it. Enjoy retirement, it's fun.
That's good.
Sit there. rub
I'll
it
go
in.
out of here, have my hip replaced, so. I went from a walker to this, so.
Making progress. That's
Oh,
good.
yeah, enjoy your evening. Nice seeing you all.
Byron.
Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you also.
All right, I think that concludes public speaks. Go into committee report, service.
All right, I'll start on water. I'd like to get the project approved over by the railroad tracks. You saw the estimate written out for $10,701. That's going to consist of making that a dead end. We did talk to the EPA. They're okay with that. We do have a flushing program. That's one of the reasons why they okayed it. There'll be a blow off on the south side of the tracks, just in case we would have a leaky valve or something. We do have a valve at church also, but it'll be shut off with a blow off. And also if somebody wanted to come off and have another water line put on there. On the north side will be a hydrant and a shut off for that hydrant. So that's what that consists of. I'd like to get that approved just so I can get that scheduled.
Why aren't we doing that in-house?
With everything going on, I think I brought this up, and it's the same thing with the catch basins. I told you guys that Brian's been here since October. We've repaired 8 to 9 water breaks on our own. But I did remember telling you guys that jumping into valve and hydrants is a whole different world than just repairing a water line. And that would take time to do. So with this project being over here by the tracks, that's why we're at with that. Catch basins. We've never installed a catch basin in town ever. And with everything going on, new employees, that's a 4-foot deep catch basin in front of the PD that operates every day. I've deemed it an emergency, so I'm going to try to get that done next week. That's the purpose for that one.
So you're not able to do the water leaks, what you're saying?
But it's not a leak.
Dead ending. So I mean, it's gotta be shut off and then a hydrant put in and
Yes.
dead ending the other.
Our crew has never done, it's totally different than just a water break. Yes, you can shut it off, you can cut it, then you gotta cap it, then you gotta block it. My crew's never done it. I've personally never done it on my own. I've watched it be done. Yes, that's why I can sit here and explain to you what needs to be done. Never done it. And that's what I explained when we talked about this, that give me a year or two to get my crew adjusted to the water system and doing water breaks, and we'll start doing the hydrants and valves. We talked about that. I'm sure you all remember that conversation.
I mean, that's what kind of the point was
Correct.
you guys got all the stuff you wanted and we're gonna start not subbing
Absolutely.
everything out.
Yeah, but that's why I explained that there were certain things that wouldn't be done within the first year. We only had him 8 months. And that's why I explained hydrants and valves in that situation, because they're different than main water breaks. And I also explained catch basins, the ones that are outdated.
So are all your guys gonna be up there and see what they do so the next time we can do it?
Absolutely.
'Cause I
We're
mean,
we're not gonna be up there the whole time, but yes, we'll go up for
well,
some
you need to
training.
be up there so you know what to do
Training,
the
yeah,
next
we-
time, so it ain't like, well, I need 3 years to start doing.
No,
this
that ain't
stuff.
gonna happen. I said what I said, I'll have it done within a year or two. We'll be doing it. But you can't put a crew up there that don't know what they're doing and get blocking hydrants up and the thing blows off and all that stuff. I mean, we're a relatively new crew. We just started in October. Plus I'm tackling a lot of zoning that I'll bring up later. There's a lot of things going on now that we need to get done. And I think I made it really clear when we took this on about catch basins that were dilapidated and beyond repair. There might be some emergencies and we had to have them installed. I made that clear. And I also made it clear that we were going to do the water breaks, so it might take a year or two to do hydrants and valves.
A year or two.
Yes, it's been 8 months.
Okay.
I mean, I apologize if nobody understood. I mean, I thought I cleared. Does
I
anybody
said,
remember
this is
that?
what we want, this is what we want, and we're gonna start doing all the water breaks.
Don't remember that.
Okay.
He did say water breaks, but I think he did call out that there were certain aspects that they wouldn't do in the first year. And I believe valves were one of those, and I do the culverts were another. That being said, I do think that they can at least have one dedicated person up there to work with the training or whatever is needed. To make sure moving forward that we were able to and prepared to do that.
And we have installed culverts. We installed 80 foot of culverts.
No, I'm sorry, not culvert,
Catch
catch
basins,
basins.
yeah. And that's one thing that we've never done in the past either. We've always subbed that out too. And we've always subbed catch basins out. And I understand that we're here to do that. And that's what we're going to do. Just like we installed 80 foot of culvert over there, we're going to do 40 foot across over up off of Walnut and Hazelwood.
And I did check on those catch basins.
Yeah.
It was a scam.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I will assure you that my word will hold true what I said when I took the job, I promise that. But anyways, moving with this estimate, I'd like to have that so I can get that on the schedule. The catch basin is under the 5,000. So I'm gonna hopefully get that installed next week.
What's the cost savings of us doing this catch basin ourselves?
Well, the catch basin itself is $1,000. And then time worked and keeping up with everything. I mean, I've never estimated the job, to be honest with you, so I couldn't tell you.
So roughly 3,000, 3,500.
Don't know with material, time and everything, I bet you we'd have at least 2,000 in it, at least, if not more. Time, material. But I'm not an estimator, I think that's,
I'm just asking how much we'd save to do it ourselves. Just wondering.
Well, it's only gonna be the labor part of it, because we have to provide the material for everything. We have to provide the
We
catch
have to
basin.
find the precast.
yeah, that's getting paid, they're buying it.
No, I thought down there.
No, they're buying
said-
it, nope, they're buying it, 100%. I talked to him on the phone today,
And that's part of that $4,000?
yes.
Are they making money on that? Or
100%.
why- when we buy that and provide it?
I think what you're seeing was the cast iron lid they were using, Kurt, I think is what you were reading on there probably. Because that's one of the reasons I called and
Now, it
asked.
says excludes any permits or fees required for the work and all MOT provided by the village.
It'll show it on there, go ahead and read it. I confirmed that with him today because that was one of my concerns when he said using the pre-existing cast. I said, well, there's no cast there. It's the cast lid. So yes, they're providing that. That's included in that. That's why I know that that was $1,000.
What's the size of the catch basin?
3 foot deep, 3 to 4 foot deep. It's an odd depth. Pipes are all the way at the bottom. I'd say it's probably 4 foot, closer to 4 foot.
So what's our cost on that? Do we know if we buy it ourselves?
I could call and check.
You're saying their cost is 1,000.
Roughly, yeah, $1,000 for it. I can call Marble Supply. That's where they're gonna get it for too also.
What's MOT mean on their thing? Management of traffic?
More than likely, yeah. I didn't ask them about that. They need to start, I'm gonna ask them that when we start getting estimates to break it down by line item, because it just kind of gave you a broad,
Well, it
Price,
says
yeah.
demo existing catch basin located, provide and install new catch
there you
basin
go.
and tie in existing storm. But at the bottom it says excludes any permits or fees required for work and all MOT provided by the village of East Canton.
Maybe it's traffic, that's gotta be better. But yeah, the catch basin is included. That was the question. It is. Thank you. Any other questions or concerns about that water line also? Any more for that? That would have cost the village if we didn't go through the process of talking with the EPA, meeting with them and bringing this up. Dave helped also bring this up with one of his ideas to do this. I think it's a great idea. It saves a lot of money. We're talking probably $80,000-$90,000 we just saved by doing it, by creating a dead end. But we got a good flushing program. They saw it. I showed them the flushing program, how often we do it, how many gallons we use during our flushing program. They're okay with it. So that saved the village about $80,000-$90,000.
Was it just patched right now?
No, we actually fixed the line. That's what kind of perturbed me about the whole situation when we originally went out there. We went under and patched it, and then the engineer from the railroad said, "You realize this is just a temporary fix?" We said, "No," and he started going through the whole gamut of what needs to be done, you know, underneath the railroad tracks and tubed and all that stuff. Oh, like, oh my. So that's when we dug in to see how much it was gonna cost. It was around 80,000-90,000 to get that done, the way they wanted it done. So that's why we went the other route. And obviously, like I said, it's gonna save us around 80,000, I would say. Like just going this route. I guess you could exclude the material we have on hand, so it might not be that much, maybe a little less. We pay for it eventually, we pay for it.
Is now the time to ask about the flushing that you're gonna do Wednesday? Are you gonna flush hydrants?
Yeah, I flush every Wednesday. I've spoken with the mayor about that. We're gonna try to put something out on the website that we flush dead ends every Wednesday, permitting that we're not doing something else. that we
Do you,
wrap
do you
up.
know what caused the problem?
Down on Center, yeah, I've
Yeah,
talked with
Cedar?
Mr. Smith.
Okay.
And
Do we
We're
have
not
to
real
worry
sure.
about that happening
yeah, we're not
again?
real sure why it was only one house, because we talked to some of the neighbors and they didn't have no problems. The only thing I can think of is he was drawing water out for his pool.
Mhm.
And maybe he was just drawing more water than everybody else with it being stirred up, because nobody else had any problems. It was, might as well say, the first flush of the year, because I went around and trained the guys the first time. We didn't flush them legit all the way. This time when we went out and flushed, we flushed it all the way on Wednesday. And it did stir up a lot, which it always does, because if you guys remember last year when we did the water tower project and we had center shut down, the water drain, we had 3 tanks sitting all around town, we had to monitor and all that stuff. That pump turned over a lot. So what the EPA is looking for is water turnover, water moving, so it's not sitting still stagnant. Well, we didn't have to flush the dead ends or any hydrants because we had turnover like a lot. Like the pumps usually run 4 to 6 hours a day. They were running like 10 to 12. Like the turnover was just outrageous because we went from storing 200,000 gallons down to 27,000 gallons. So that tells you how much it just turned. So we didn't flush last year because of that. Now this year, so we went a year without flushing. I still think a lot of that built up on them dead ends, and that's one of the reasons why that was so bad for the first flush.
Did
But we're
you flush on a dead end of Cedar this year?
Cedar's not a dead end, neither is Renowski.
It's not a throughway.
Yeah, there's a line that goes all the way up the field from 44 to the park. We
So
found
they
that
don't
out this
consider
year
our
because of
street
the
a
water.
dead
break.
end?
Nope.
Not by the water system.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're not gonna flush that one?
No,
Or
no,
you are?
if you get dirty water, any complaint of water down there, we'd gladly come down and flush it, but it's not a dead end. It's not a dead end.
Okay. That confused me when you said that.
Yeah, if we have water complaints of dirty water or anything like that, yeah, we'll make an effort to come out and flush a hydrant close to the person's house that's complaining.
Okay.
But now it's just the dead end flushes. Then we do other ones once a month. If anybody's interested, I got that list back at the shop. So, but for now, I called and asked Dave to post it every Wednesday. We're going to be doing the dead ends. Just trying to give people a heads up. Anything else on water? Roads, we replaced the red traffic light at Wood and Nassau. Put the flags downtown for Memorial Day. And filled some potholes around town, picked up another ton of coal patch. We'll be continuing to fill potholes. We already talked about this, catch basin in front of PD, will be replaced as soon as possible. We're going to try to get that scheduled for next week. Patchwork project has been completed, which consisted of 2 roads, Liberty over here and then Orchard where the parade route's going. That has been completed. So all our paving projects have been done for this year after today. Buildings, new roof and gutters have been completed here at the Village Hall. Turned out really nice. As a heads up, we're still going to try to take down this memorial out front of the Village Hall here. Relocate the stone and the bell to the left side of the main entrance of Village Hall. I know there was some debate on that. Does anybody have any input they'd like to put on that, moving that memorial over there? Because there were some concerns about that, I know, last time. Okay. Park, we put up some new men and women restroom signs. They're placed on the bottom building at the park. Zoning, low dollar general. We'd like you guys to approve so I can submit that bill. That's here. I don't know. I think we'll probably just have the mayor sign it or the president of council sign that. Would that be okay?
For what?
$4 general to turn in for the billing lien. You said you're going to approve that tonight. Or do you want a whole vote on it?
I mean, ordinarily, there would be a vote and a certification by the fiscal officer to the county auditor. We're
Okay.
going to place it on the tax duplicate.
So we do need a vote on that one?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like you to vote on that. That's the bill that I showed you guys from Dollar General. It was broke down on the back. 2 employees, an hour each, 1 weed eating, 1 mowing, for a total of $300. We did that on May 11th.
And you're certifying that to the county auditor for payment, not submitting it to them for payment? Am I understanding that?
I think Penny's going to try to submit it to them, see if they pay. Then after so long, she's going to submit that to the county.
Okay.
Does that okay then?
It is, I mean, I just didn't know if you wanted, you could see if they pay it.
Yeah.
And then have council separately take up the question of whether or not it gets certified.
Well, they've paid, believe it or not, we just got our last tax settlement, or tax settlement from the auditor. They actually did pay $600 worth of mowing. They're not paid up for what's on there, but they did pay $600, and it's on their property taxes.
Okay,
And
then,
that comes through as an assessment.
yeah, if that's how they're, I thought maybe they'd voluntarily pay it. But if we have to certify to get them to pay, I would have council vote now.
Okay.
And then they're probably not gonna pay until,
No, we're their mowing crew now.
We're the mowing crew.
The village is their mowing crew.
and the county auditor is
That's
the collection agency
Yeah.
for our mowing company. What they should really do is take it seriously, or we raise our price.
I was just gonna say,
Or
we
you
need
just
to
sign
up
up.
our game a little bit.
Do a zoning violation and cite them to court. If they don't show up, then march up the ladder.
You can do that. But for now, I agree. I think council should vote to have it certified to the county.
And we talked about those trees that aren't cleaned up either. Can we make an ordinance for that?
I got to speak on that. I won't speak directly to it, but I have sent out certified mail for that already. That'll be under zoning. Yeah.
I mean, I see they took the pole down.
Yeah, yeah, he has a whole list of activities that have taken place since the last meeting, so.
So,
Excuse me, Mayor, before we go on, do we have to make a motion on that water project Henry wants to do?
Yeah.
Because if we do and we don't, then it's gonna be till next meeting, and it's gonna be hanging out there.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
I'll make a motion that we approve that to have the work done
In the amount that,
of $10,701.00.
Second.
roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Hines.
Yay.
Snyder.
Yay.
Carmen.
do we want to do the mowing of Dollar General one next to get that out of the road since we're there before I start going to the next part of zoning?
So moved.
The council, yeah. This is to certify the $300?
Correct.
Okay, we got a motion by Councilman Baloo.
Second.
Councilperson Schneider. Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Hines.
Yay.
Snyder. Yeah. Carmen.
You pass it on there for me. Thank you. Yeah, mailed out several zoning violations.
I think you signed this.
You sign.
Yeah, you
I'll go
signed
sign it, but I think he said that the mayor and physical officers should sign it also, right? Is that what you just said?
The village administrator is responsible for
Yeah.
certifying all that.
I thought you were saying who would be responsible for certifying it, but for the violation notice, if it's your duty to observe and violate,
Okay.
it's your duty
I'll
to
take
sign.
that. I just thought you just said that we had to sign. That's all. All right. Mailed out several zoning violations, certified mail and regular mail. A lot of them were per discussion at the last meeting. I did watch the last meeting to hear some of your guys' concerns. This is my personal opinion. I won't bring up individuals. If you guys want to, that's fine, and ask me questions, or you can ask me afterwards. I just think it's better that way, in my opinion, because I got to deal with these people on a day-to-day basis when I knock on the door. It's probably best not to, for me to put that out there. Now, if you want to, that's fine. I'll answer any questions you want. But I believe there was 3 main concerns at the last meeting, and I did certify mail each one of them. If you, I'll gladly field questions if you want to ask questions about a specific one, but if not, wait till after the meeting too. I don't care. Do that? Right. Under other, we attended the school touch a truck day. We took the backhoe and the big red truck. That went very well. This past week, the students came from the school for community service day. We had the kids sweep the pavilions out and wash the tables in the pavilions at the park. They also came to the shop and picked up sticks. The service department would like to thank the kids and the schools. They did an awesome job. Went around town, gathered addresses up today that did not get things picked up from the Saturday pickup. I did reach out to Kimball, and this should be taken care of today. I asked them If some things were not picked up today, to compile a list of addresses and why the reason they didn't pick it up today. That way I can follow up on that. I know that was a big concern to some people.
Yeah, they didn't take any of the cans.
Trash cans?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should pick up regular trash Tuesday.
No, but Saturday, when people drug all their crap to the curb along with their trash can, they didn't take the trash can.
Yeah, when I talked to him, I guess they got two different units. They got a unit that does the cleanup, and then they do their regular Tuesday pickup. Because I asked that too.
I mean, they've always took down whatever you said at the curb, even if it was your
The trash can.
trash can. Because a lot of people stuff their trash can full.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then they don't have nothing for Tuesday. I
So
get it.
they need to clarify, because this is the first year they've never not taken, I mean, they literally left the can sitting full.
Yeah.
And they grabbed the crap on it. So I mean, if you'd have dumped your trash can out on the ground, they'd have probably picked it up.
Yeah, they probably.
I'll bring that up to
But,
Mr. Collins.
You know, a
for
lot
sure.
of people wanted to, not make as big of a mess.
I'll bring that up to them.
The scrappers go through all your
There's
piles.
plenty of scrappers out there, yeah.
I was driving home, we came home late because we were at my nephew's ball game. There was literally piles all over, just in the street and everything.
Yeah.
From these people just
They just
dragging
throw
stuff
it
out,
Yeah.
just leaving all the trash in the road.
Yeah, there was 15 to 20 places that were not picked up. Now, there's some that they would like the couches and mattresses wrapped up in plastic. I don't know if that was
We'll put that on
clarified
the
or not.
posting next year. I didn't have it on the posting this year.
Okay.
We've never had it on the posting, but I'll put it on the posting for next year to make sure that they wrap any couches or
Yeah.
mattresses, but.
I think they were gonna take care of it. But again, I told them if they don't pick something up, I'd like to know, because there's a lot of them, some people that don't use Kimball that are putting stuff out too, and they won't pick that up.
Well, that's known.
Yeah.
They said that at the beginning.
But when I went out to look, I didn't know who has Kimball, who don't. So I just wrote down every single address that had it, and they're supposed to compile me a list of who they didn't pick up and why they didn't pick it up. That way I have the answers in case somebody calls.
Yeah, I didn't see any piles not left that I noticed, but
Yeah, there's a few.
like every trash can lids were hanging open because everyone stuffed their trash cans full and they just left.
And I did ask them about that, and they did tell me it was two separate, but I'll bring it up to them that they need to do that because of that reason.
It's never been unless
I agree.
they've always just grabbed everything.
Putting all that junk, little junk out.
It's great.
I mean, they may want to, clarify for next year. I mean, otherwise you just got people winging bags of trash and God knows what else just down to the curb.
I mean, if you're not a
Cats and
Kimball
raccoons will
customer,
rip
you're
it
not
all
gonna
up.
pick it up.
No, that was something they put in place last year. Basically that if you're not a.
With the new contract.
Yeah, new contract, yeah.
But I think that was kind of always, in
It's
there.
always in there, it
But
just
they
wasn't
would-
enforced, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also huge that they can't have a trash can because it's full of stuff for Tuesday that drop off. They probably expected that to go,
Right,
and now it's not gone, so they got nothing to put their trash in for Tuesday. So,
right.
yeah, I'll call and talk to them about that too. Good point.
There'll be lots of bags out there.
Any other questions or
It'd
concerns?
make your Tuesday a lot easier.
Are we gonna get some hot patch to fill these potholes, or are we just gonna do cold patch?
Well-
It just keeps coming out.
We do cold patch. The thing we've learned in the past, when we do hot patch, by the time we get around town, all little holes, it gets hard as a rock on it, wastes a lot of it. We have to go back and dump it. So we've been using cold patch for a long time now. There's bigger areas.
I mean, this one here on Liberty's been a
Well,
cold for all winter. You put cold patch in it, it's all up.
Well, I've only put this is the second time I put cold patch in. We need to dig that up. It's a soft spot in the road. I'm gonna go and dig that up, fill it with 3 or 4 crushed concrete, beat it down, and then cold patch it. Cold patch usually works. The only bad thing about cold patch, if you notice out here on 30,
Cold patch just comes up when you drive on it though. If you're gonna 304 it, hot patch it.
yeah, I mean, we probably cut it out. We don't have grinders or anything, so for us to put it over just over the whole big hump makes it hard too.
If you cut it out with the saw and then 304 base it and roll it, you can use hot patch
So
and it will stay better.
we used cold patch out here on 30 here recently in front of a gentleman's house. And the bad thing about cold patch, it's been staying. It's at the tail end of it. If the road's bad, the road just continues to break away further down. The cold patch will stay, but everything after that or around it starts breaking away. So the roads are just so bad, and that's why we've been doing some patching too. We have them come in and mill it out, actually mill the road out and patch it. If that's something you guys would like to do, then we're gonna have to get into putting a miller and mill it out. Because our roads are they're breaking up a lot. That's why we've been paving instead of chip seal.
Not saying middle, but I mean, I think up here you square cut it around it, base it, and then or hot patch it.
Yeah.
Roll it, you have a roller too, so
Yep.
that'll work.
Yep.
But cold patch is just gonna keep coming out. I mean, same thing around the potholes around town. Cold patch is gonna keep coming out.
That's what we've been using. I mean, I haven't saw that. I mean, this one on Liberty obviously is bad because of its,
What's the minimum buy on the hot patch?
You can get a ton.
A ton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
make sure
what would be, Henry, what would be the downfall saying, look, we're gonna cut out Liberty, like you said,
cutting out a section's not
Yeah.
bad, but like he's saying over there,
Try
that's
the
not
size
bad.
of that
Yeah,
table.
yeah, cutting that section out.
You just gotta base it.
A
make
lot
sure
of the
it's-
roads though, like that's fine, that pothole, you got a big pothole, cut that section out, like you're saying.
I'm not talking about a whole road. I know that, we can't do that. I'm
Yeah,
not
there's
saying
just,
that.
when the roads are crumbling away, but a major pothole like that, you know, wouldn't be bad to do that one with hot patch, but I know that we've been using cold patch for the last several years, but
Excuse me for my lack of knowledge, but why can't you pour concrete into those potholes?
I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities you could do, but the bad thing is, again, things
They
start
come out
breaking.
kind of boulder.
Well, things start breaking out around it, no matter what you do. If you got a bad road, no matter what you put in a cold patch, concrete, hot mix, if that road's bad around that pothole and crumbling, it'll just continue to break out. And a good example is out here on 30 where we've patched that. You can go out there tonight and look, it's cold patch is sticking, but the very end or around the outer edge, it's starting to break away again. It's just because the road's so bad. But yeah, that's something, we could probably cut that out, probably put,
I mean, it's worth something else other than having that pothole there
yeah, we filled it
over and over.
last week with some, but we knew better just to waste a bunch of time on that pole for now until we get over there and dig it up. We're gonna have to dig down too and put 304 in. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind cutting that out in a square section. Do 3 foot by 3 foot or 4 foot by 4 foot and digging it out, put 304 in and putting hot patch, if that's what you want, that's fine with me.
Did we get the street sweeper yet?
Nope.
What's the,
It's coming from North Dakota and I haven't heard, I've called them several times and asked for emails from them and I've heard nothing.
did we pay for it yet?
Yeah, they gave us like a 12-week delivery time.
Did it?
Yeah, it was a long lead time.
You're driving around with skid steer.
Yeah, the last email I
It was a
saw,
long lead time.
It'd just be nice, like after, some of this paving they did, I mean, they did a nice job. There was a lot of the,
Yep.
And they didn't clean it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clean up before the
wash
parade,
out of the
yeah.
gravel, all the rains out of driveways and things. Yeah, we could use that thing a lot. That's what I said. I gotta do downtown yet. I was kind of hoping to get it, but we're gonna end up having to go out push through to do that again. It's getting bad down there.
Yeah, they just did Orchard, it's all over.
Last email I saw, March 26th, Kurt had reached out to him. They said 5 to 6 weeks. So that's why I reached out to him myself, got the number and called him up. I'm like, it's been 5 to 6 weeks. The last email was March 26th. They said, well, we've been falling behind. It could be longer. I'll try to push it through some emails. That was a week ago. Still haven't heard nothing.
It's coming straight, well, we ordered it through Lepo, but for some reason, it went to the district office. Even our billing is coming, it doesn't go through Lepo's. We had to set up an account to go through Chicago. Dewson's Chicago thing.
Yeah, I think it has to do with having the government discount.
And that could be too, yeah.
But it's coming from North Dakota, I think. Well, the guy I called was from North Dakota. Should say it's coming from.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that. All the roads really.
100%.
Especially intersections where all the driveways washed into the road.
We'll use the heck out of this right now. A lot of things. All right, any other questions or concerns? I'll get that done. I can't guarantee this week, but tomorrow we gotta go up, take some flagpoles down and put them on
I'm
44.
just saying it's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
It needs addressed.
And Henry, the 25-mile-an-hour sign on Orchard and straightened up. Somebody must have hit it.
You know, we're gonna get out there and do straighten up with signs and weed eat around all our signs too, because there's
Those
a lot of weed eating.
blacktop things that you see some of these road crews dragging behind, it keeps them hot the whole time.
They're nice.
What the hell are those called?
Hot box.
Why don't we look into something
They're
like that?
expensive. They might have a smaller one. One that I know of, it was like
I mean-
60 grand.
Well,
It keeps it warm the whole time so you can work out.
well, that's what I mean, so you could go buy more
Mhm.
and you wouldn't, well, gotta waste half of it because we took too long.
But I mean,
That
not
stuff
like
hardens
this,
up
that
quick.
you can
Well,
get
that's what I'm
hot
saying, you know, you got
patches and stay for
a
few
good
hours.
couple days and you just keep, you can come fill that thing up and then send the dude right back while you're,
I don't know how much that is, but I'll tell you what, if you really want to go do the right thing, township's got an emulsion machine. That's the route to go. That spits out the tar and the gravel all in one.
is theirs on a?
Yep,
Is it on the truck?
It's on a trailer. You pull behind a trailer.
Oh, okay, because I seen Akron just got some that are on a truck. It comes up, blows out the potholes, fills them with
Oh,
oil.
that's the whole truck I saw.
Yeah.
That thing's crazy.
Yeah, they're like $300,000.
This one's got a blower on. You could actually turn the blower on it, blow it out, and then you could turn your emulsion, your gravel on. You'll emulsion it first, then you'll get the mix of emulsion and gravel. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that we could do and get. I mean, like I said, we can start.
I'm not saying we need to be a road crew, but I mean, get, the right equipment so that we can patch the holes right.
Without
And
wasting.
not just constantly, how much cold patch do you waste, having to keep doing it over and over and over?
I mean, how much cold patch have we got this year?
We went through probably 2 tons.
That's not very much.
No, it's not.
There's still a lot of holes out there.
Yep, we got a ton back. We just got another ton, so.
Yeah, look into one of those
Hot packs,
Either
Hot
hot box
box
or
or
the emulsion
or
machine.
emulsion machine. I mean, just to see, I mean,
Okay.
if we're gonna try to do them right, instead of
Wasting
redoing
money.
them.
Well, I know before the township would, if they had time, would come help out with that.
Oh,
They still will with a bigger patch, if we need a bigger patch. They would still do that. They've been pretty good about that. But we got a lot of catch basin repairs to do too. Burger and Sugar Alley, fire station, one right out here by Village Hall. Those are all repairable ones, hopefully. Again, like I said, a lot of these are repairable, but they've been repaired 5 times. And when it starts going too much, that's when we just need to insert a new one. And we're gonna do that, but we can't start in front of the PD with a 4-foot deep catch basin.
Do the same thing there, have someone there so that you guys are learning instead of just paying.
100%. Like I said, I will promise you, I will hold true to my word.
What's the little alley between Liberty and Nassau? Straight down here.
Bear Alley, maybe?
Is that-
Ranowski goes all the way through. the
Yeah,
wall.
that changes over to Bear, I think. I think Ranowski's by the, you talking about the hair salon?
No, it's on this side. Like you go, straight down here. Yeah, like
The one that goes from.
Right before
Ranowski all the way across.
before Burger goes from the right.
By,
By the hair salon?
No, that's what I
that's
mean.
by, across from Butler's.
Yeah, down by the old Doc's card check and stuff, but up a little bit.
Yeah, between Burger and Liberty, or Market.
Yeah,
I think that's Bear. Like, it's probably the same one, like you're saying, comes from,
No, he's
Ranowski.
talking about across from, Ray Butler's house.
and
Oh,
one time.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, check that one out. I think that
I
was
don't know,
getting
that
pretty
might be a
rough.
dirt road.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, that
There's
was
some
a
bad
big-
holes in it.
Over here is too. There's, some of these roads are falling completely apart. Like,
I'd add
completely.
those alleys to your list. If nothing else, maybe we can pack the holes with some gravel or something.
Or asphalt grinding or something.
Mhm.
They're pretty rough.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a bunch of them at the park. Asphalt grindings.
Yeah, I got them shot too. We're getting rid of them this week too. Probably Wednesday on a rain day, we're gonna spread them down there where it's low.
Yeah. Yeah, but some of that would probably work fine in some of these little alleys.
Is that an actual alley?
Yeah,
I don't
It's
even
on the
know if it's
map.
got- I don't know if it's got a road. or
I don't think
road
it's
through
ever,
it.
yeah,
I don't
There's
know.
several don't have.
It was
names.
by Rarick's house, right?
yeah.
it's on the map.
It almost looks like a driveway.
Yeah, it's not because there's.
But you know what? It's an extension of Otter.
Like,
Otter's on the other side of the road.
On the north side of 30,
Yes,
that's Otter.
I don't know.
Otter's there.
It just goes
And then
between
it goes
Liberty and
across, but I don't-
Nassau. I just cut down it one day and it was like, this thing sucks.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
turn-
it's just not a normal
Go
alley.
down Liberty and turn left on that first alley. That's just as bad. And
Oh,
there's
the one
another
over here
one.
by Lisa's.
Yeah, and then there's another one that goes east and west. It's just a dirt road. It's never been paved. And we started plowing that probably about 3 years ago, which I never even knew it existed.
But that might be a good idea. Check them out because the asphalt grindings down in there.
And if they're dirt, they're probably humped too, so they probably need some loving no matter what. Even with the skid steer or something, they need.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, they look rough. I mean, I was,
Oh, yeah.
even from Google Maps, it looks rough. I can only imagine.
Yeah. I mean, but you do see cars poking out of them once in a while.
Well, the one by Rarick's there, that one, that's their driveway to get into the side of their house, and there's a road, there's actually a house back in that one.
Yeah.
The grindings work pretty well, except for sometimes you get heavy rains and it's on a hill where then they get a lot of washout.
Yeah. It's
But
pretty
it
flat
does
on
work out
that
pretty good.
particular house.
So it's better than doing blacktop, spending money in blacktop for that.
Let's just be out here.
Yeah. Nothing, yeah.
I don't know that one that runs east and west over here either. The name of it.
Yeah, the one that runs behind all those people's garages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we started plowing that. I don't,
Doesn't even show a name on that.
No, there's, yeah, it doesn't show anything. That's what I was,
It's there.
yeah. Well, it's definitely, yeah. Yeah. All right. I know the amount for the basin is under 5K, but does council want to make a motion for that? Or you just want to say, look, that's within the purview of the administrator to do? Just wanted to make sure I touched base on that before we moved on.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Baloo, and that is just to confirm, Councilman Baloo, in the amount of $4,138 from DePietro Construction.
Agree.
All right, standing motion, any second?
Second.
Second, roll call, Collins,
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Hines,
Yeah,
Schneider.
Yeah.
Carmen.
Okay.
All right. Henry, you're going to look into getting pricing for the different options for the hot patch, right? As far as keeping it
the trailer, the hot
temperature, yeah,
patch.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then also the emulsion machine.
okay, yeah,
Just kind of compare the two and see where we're at with it.
Yeah.
The only thing that you will have to look into, that emulsion machine, you do have to drive and get the emulsion. It does stay hot. You can plug it and keep it hot, so don't go to waste. You do have to drive and pay for that. You do also have to pay for the pea gravel or the crushed limestone, whatever they're using. So that is something that is on top of that cost.
You
And
can get that at the Petros?
I don't know. I don't think they have the hot mix.
No, the pea gravel.
Yeah, you might be able to get it
They're probably
there.
8s or smaller.
Yeah, they're real small. But I'm just saying, I'll look into that cost also because
Well, don't we got room? We could get a load of it.
you'd probably try to like keep that dry with it being so small, it just freezing and everything. It just,
I mean, he's saying you have room at the service department to have a bin for it, to let you do the 304, the 57s, or.
no, that's what I'm saying. We just leave it outside. I can make room. I got plenty of bins. We're working on getting a lot of the dirt out of there and starting to do that now anyways.
That's what I'm saying. If we go that direction,
You probably get that
I mean, obviously you
Shelley's.
got to go get all that, but if you had it,
I just like to put some
One less
kind of
trip.
roof over. Me and Kurt have been talking about trying to get some kind of dome or even a building, trying to keep some of this like topsoil on hand so it ain't getting wet. Smaller gravel that won't freeze. 304 crushed concrete freezes like a rock in the winter when you're going to do your water breaks. So there's a lot of things we kicked it around a little bit. But if we do go that route, we probably should try to get something to cover. I'll have that, I'm just letting you know, I'll have that figure in there too. How much that costs a ton, how much the emulsion itself costs. I believe one place when I used to work for the township was Akron was one place. I think they found a place in New Philly now that does it, but I can check with them.
sounds good.
All right, no more questions. Thank you, guys.
Takes us into safety, chief.
Good evening, everyone. So this past 2 weeks, we PD responded to 386 calls for service. We focused strongly on traffic, obviously, as we always do. Officers have been instructed to not only keep an eye and be diligent on the main roads, but to also push out into the other neighborhoods where people would travel to avoid the speed cameras. So they've been instructed to kind of start patrolling those areas a little bit more. In addition to that, we've had several drive-offs at the gas station this week, obviously with the gas prices being what they are. So they've also been told in their free time they need to spend a little bit more time over there, hopefully to act as a deterrent. We have been working with the fire department, and we've got a meeting with the street department this week to finalize some plans for the Memorial Day parade on Monday. I've had the Tahoe and the Crown Vic both needed repairs. The Tahoe needs a new alternator and a battery. So East Canton Used Cars is working on that. The Crown Vic needed a new battery that's already been installed and it is up and running again. Control Finder software, the pucks are in the car. It's collecting data for us. We're going to collect a month's worth of data so we have a baseline to just see how effective it actually is once we get it installed and everybody has logins. So we are in that period right now. This week, they are going to try to start working with the sheriff's office and get the CAD information entered into the system. So right now, the pucks are operating, they're transmitting. I can see what's going on. We've got our patrol points entered. We're still entering attention points, which are basically going to be the businesses in town for business checks and areas where we want to focus our patrols. Obviously, the residential neighborhoods are going to be big with the speed cameras up and operating now. It's going to be big for us. So the attention points are cool because you can actually set a parameter, a geofence, and it'll time how long that vehicle is within that geofence. So it will not disappear from the map until that time is met, and then that time will automatically reset at whatever parameter we've set it up to be. So it's actually pretty cool. Everything's working great right now. So we are collecting some great data on that.
You'll be able to start including that in the reports.
You're actually going to get completely different reports. So you'll actually be able to get a lot more detailed report on what's going on. They're actually very cool. So there's going to be about 3 or 4 that you guys are going to get. Rather than just a list of all the calls, you'll get that, but you'll also have some very specific reports as to what's going on. So we are right now currently speaking with some of our vendors. We've got to get the Bluetooth trigger boxes put into the vehicles for the new body cameras. We've received everything right now except for the body cameras and docking ports, and supposedly those have already been sent out. So those should be here hopefully soon. But we do have the trigger boxes. We need to get the trigger boxes installed in the vehicle. The way that's going to happen is when they're going to install that, it's going to be hooked into the light bar. Once an officer turns on the emergency overhead lights, it'll automatically activate the body cameras. That was all part of the grant that we got. We're going to have to pay for the installation on that, but they paid for the hardware through the grant. So as soon as the body cams get here, docking ports get here, we'll be able to finalize the grant information, pay for it, and then I can ask for the reimbursement. And that'll be obviously next quarter. We just had our quarter closeout for them, so we're in the second quarter this year for that. We assisted the street department with a little bit of traffic control while they were hanging flags and things like that last week. And Sergeant Crouch is now back from paternity leave. That's about all I have for you. Any questions? Absolutely.
Ambulance came to Hope and 2 police officers came, 2 different cars.
Mhm.
Why 2 cars?
Just because, I mean, it's, again, when we respond to calls, having 2 officers is a bit safer. If they're not needed, then they can go. We've spoken with EMS, and they have asked us to respond to those calls with them, just because sometimes they're running a little short-staffed, and if we have to lift or carry somebody, it's always better to have more bodies than
But
just...
it was Louisville ambulance. It doesn't make any difference.
It doesn't make any difference, yeah. When there's an EMS dispatch, we're going to get notified in the village and we're going to respond to it. They can wave us off if they don't need us, but unless they wave us off, then we're going to respond and help them with lift assist or whatever they need.
Then was asked, what happens when you go on a police escort for the funeral home?
So we're
When you're
looking,
out of the area, is there backup?
there is backup here. The village has never left unattended without an officer. We actually have been discussing this. We've been going over the contract. There are some things in the contract that we're not super thrilled with. So I don't know. We have suspended right now doing those until we can work out some of the logistics with those. And I don't know that we are going to re-enter into the contract for the funeral escorts. It's not something that our officers are particularly keen on doing. And it seems to be more of a hassle at this point. So we're going to kind of review that. We're looking at everything. But, yeah, we may not be redoing the contract with those, so, it's gonna be.
Several people asked, and I
Yep,
said I
nope,
would bring it up.
absolutely. Yep, nope, the village always has somebody here, so, when those are going on, we always have additional officers. Usually those are off duty, but if not, then yes, typically we have another officer, that's here in the village with those. But again, the contract is not something particularly, there are some things in it that we looked at that we weren't particularly thrilled with. So, and then after speaking with my officers, they weren't particularly keen on continuing with these funeral escorts. So I don't necessarily know that that's something we're going to continue with.
Question, Chief, how are
Yes.
people driving off without paying for gas?
Well, South Shores has a policy where they do not require them to prepay for gasoline. So it's store policy. So
How does that work? You either have to put your credit card in or go
No,
inside
You
and,
just grab the handle and then they'll start it for you.
People pay inside.
I worked at the
that's
gas,
like old
a gas
school.
station. They stole more gas than I could pay.
Wow, yeah.
I didn't even know you could still do that.
Yeah, we brought it up to them as a company saying, because, we were getting, and we'll continue to get those calls now that the price is going back up. But I remember last year when the price, or 2 years ago when the price was high, it was every day. It felt like, and our officers were having to go over and, we had asked that they maybe consider changing policy, and the answer was no, that's their policy. They're going to allow it to continue. But it does open the door for these types of things.
I only got a half a tank.
I just put the mayor's license plate on.
Yeah.
We got time to get the cruiser cleaned up before the parade.
I hope so. He's going to have it done tomorrow, he said. So the Tahoe should be ready to go. I think the other ones will be cleaned up and everything should be fine. But the one that's going to be in the parade should be, we're up at the Dodge in the parade. So that should be looking sharp.
Well, you said that anybody could ride. Well, I want to ride in the parade.
You're more than welcome to if you want to. Absolutely. So
I want to ride.
you're going to be the lead car. So
Concerning the speed cameras, there was a lot of bad chit chat on Facebook.
Mhm.
One person even put on there's a lot of copper in there, knock it down and steal it. Somebody even put on there, throw away the ticket, it doesn't mean anything. Now, unless you're right in front of that camera, they're not gonna catch you if you knock that pole down.
So from what I understand, the camera's actually always recording.
Yeah.
So if somebody does attempt to do that, we actually will have feed of them doing it. We will have pictures of them, we will have pictures of their vehicle, and they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. That is one thing that we're not playing around on. Cameras aren't going away, so even if they do that, they're going to be looking at some serious fines and jail time, and we're going to put up another camera. So it's pointless for that to even happen. Again, this is a public safety issue, so I don't understand. I mean, at the end of the day, my job, my responsibility is public safety. People shouldn't have to worry about crossing the street to get their mail. There's areas with no sidewalks. If you can't keep your car under 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, knowing where these cameras are, and respecting the people in the village, respecting your neighbors, then maybe you should think about not driving. So,
I'm just still amazed at my old age that people are that big of idiots.
Yep.
To put it out there for the public.
well,
That guy's name was right there. Tear it down, take the copper.
yeah, well, I mean, again, if we all listen to the advice that we got from Facebook, most of us would probably be in jail right now. So.
The one question I did get, which
Yes.
I was curious about too, was where does it take the picture?
So everything is done within the village.
No,
Nothing-
I get that. I'm just saying, so here's the camera. How far?
Like the distance from it?
Yeah.
It gave approximate. If you look at that map, there's an approximate circles, right? So if you look at the map that was in the posting, it gives you an approximate location for each side where it's aiming at. so to
Right.
speak.
So if you look at where the sign
Yeah.
placement is, when you come into those zones, there's actually 2 signs on each side as you come into those zones. That's where the zones actually begin for those. So. Inside of where the photo enforcement signs are.
That's kind of what I figured. I mean, that makes the most sense.
Oh, I wondered why there was 2 signs.
Yep. No, I mean, we just want to make sure, again, this is a public safety issue. We want people to slow down, and that's, we're putting out the flyers. We're making sure everybody has fair warning. This is what is going on. These are the areas. Slow down. If you miss 3 signs and, you're still speeding, obviously you need to pay a little bit of better attention to your driving.
That's one observation
was a repository said you get
The
five,
observation
you go
I had,
44.
the people that are still violating are on their phones.
Was it a
Yep.
repository there?
Yeah, exactly.
Big article, front page.
I saw it. That was the payment one. He was a book.
Chief, any word about the handheld from Trevor yet?
I spoke with Trevor. He just had to confirm. He said he believes that the handheld actually should work with a vendor. He wanted to confirm with them. He said we should have it within a month as long as it's compatible with their software. So he said within a month's period, we should be having that handheld and be ready to go with that. So which that will probably be deployed in areas where we're having a lot of trouble or in the school zones mostly. So
Any issue with the farmer's market yesterday, parking or anything?
no, seems like everything was calm, quiet, and everything went smoothly.
They
So.
had a makeup game, so there
Yeah.
was a lot.
There was, and Henry and I have already talked about this. It's just softball got rained out on Saturday.
Mhm.
So they, and I understand they want to get the game in, so they rescheduled for Sunday. I'm not throwing any shade at them, but the farmer's market, they have that area scheduled. So Henry's going to speak with the softball organization and just ask that on the days that are earmarked for the farmer's market that we don't have any games.
I did speak with them. June 28th is the next farmer's market.
Yeah.
They should be wrapped up with all their ball by then. She can't guarantee that there's not gonna be baseball or somebody doing like AAU practice or
Right.
something, but softball's games will be in the tournament aspect of their season, and those are all in the lines. So the 28th on, she should be fine.
If it's AAU, they should be paying the village for
You would
you,
think,
so we should know.
As long as there's no active shooters like up in Akron and Cleveland, seems to be the thing to do.
When is the grace period over with for the cameras?
So the cameras went live. They were supposed to go live yesterday. So the grace period's a 30-day grace period. So we're right at the beginning of it. So
Okay.
Middle of June. Yeah.
So you got 30 days to get through town quick.
well, that doesn't mean that we're not going to catch you conventionally. So
Used to be, I had to be out of town, my son died.
Yeah.
Hold your beer.
anybody have anything else?
You're up first.
Thank you.
Don't pay attention.
All right, takes us to judicial.
Okay, tonight we have ordinance number 2026-09. Ordinance to revise the rules, regulations, practices, and/or procedures governing water account management, billing, and collections. Whereas Article,
You can do my timeline, so 35.
all this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
Yes. You've done this before, haven't you?
Sorry.
You just looked at the
Second.
clock.
All right. Roll call, Colin.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah.
Hans.
Yay.
Ned.
Yeah.
Carmen.
Yeah.
And if council wants to consider the amendment of the ordinance, there's one paragraph on page 11 of the ordinance 2025-12.
We'll have to pass an ordinance
Yeah, pass an ordinance.
to amend the.
So if you want
We had to
to,
go over that with like fine tooth comb just in case. there's
I was
anything else.
looking through, it's literally one paragraph where it's listed, Worcester's listed twice in one paragraph. I don't know how I missed it, but it was a good call out by Mr. Reedy, but
Do you find page 2?
page 2 is on the actual ordinance. I'm not sure why it's missing on the website, so we'll get that added. But in the meeting minutes, page 2 is there. So we'll have to get that corrected. But as far as the Worcester versus East Canton, if you want to, should we wait to draft a formal ordinance?
The draft an ordinance.
Yeah,
Stating we're gonna amend the ordinance, then you
Well,
have to
yeah.
list what you're.
you have to
And then
identify
it's-
the section,
Yeah.
and then you have to show the change, and then you show the new.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to do that.
Well, we're on
I-
a 30-day window
Yeah.
started, so does that give us enough time?
I would think either that do an emergency measure and do all 3 readings at the next council meeting.
Yeah, it could be passed by emergency, suspending the rules at the next meeting. The only other thing I'd note is, ultimately, I would say it's a scrivener's error. I don't disagree with the gentleman that there shouldn't be scrivener's errors or typographical errors in our legislation. I make mistakes like anybody else. I didn't draft that particular one. I don't agree that it would be grounds to have the civil violation automatically thrown out because it referenced the wrong municipal court. So if there were any question as to that, I mean, there's typographical errors in statutes, like in the Ohio Revised Code. So I don't think that it's automatically invalid. It should be corrected. I can have it done immediately later this week, whatever council would like, but.
Like you say, we got, it's in a 30-day warning window anyway.
Yeah.
I'm looking, Canton Municipal's listed countless times. Worcester's only listed twice, so it's one paragraph. Yeah. Okay, anything else for judicial?
Yes. You guys have before you in your packets ordinance 2026-10. This is the annual appropriation ordinance. Normally we can pass this in the middle of March, but the auditor didn't get me the revised certificate of resources until the middle of April, which was after the March 31st deadline. And I actually had to hound them for it, and I forgot about this at the last meeting. So you have before you ordinance number 2026-10, an ordinance to appropriate the current expenses and other anticipated expenditures of the Village of East Canton, Stark County, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026. Be it ordained the Council of the Village of East Canton, State of Ohio, that to provide the current expenses and other anticipated expenditures of the said Village of East Canton during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, the following sums should be, and they are hereby set aside and appropriated as follows. General Fund, $1,353,469.61. Special Revenues Fund, $992,518.11. Capital Projects Fund, $356,029.16. Proprietary Funds, $910,468.08. And fiduciary funds, $58,604.71, for a grand total of $3,671,089.67.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue,
Yeah.
Hines,
Yay.
Schneider,
Yay.
Carmen.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue,
Yeah.
Hines,
Yeah.
Schneider.
Yay.
Carmen.
Third and final reading by title only, ordinance number 2026-10, an ordinance to appropriate the current expenses and other anticipated expenditures of the Village of East Canton, Stark County, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Blue,
Yeah.
Hines,
Yay.
Schneider,
Yay.
Carmen. Anything else for judicial?
I did not see anything.
Anything for grants today?
Yes. As I mentioned in the last meeting, I reached out to Representative Kishman to see if he had a more streamlined way of finding grants to help with our match for our grant coming up. I got a response. He says he will have his office look into any grants available. So he was short and to the point on the matter. So hopefully he'll come through with some applications, at which time myself or Ms. Riggs will take advantage of them. I also got an email from or Senator Houston's office. As you remember, we applied to a grant there, and we got the one from Representative Ruley's office, and this is the one for Senator Houston's office. It says, "Hello, I hope all is well. Unfortunately, we're unable to refer your project to the Senate Appropriations Committee. We received more eligible applications than not this year, and we had to make some very tough decisions on our selection process. This is not an indication of eligibility or the importance of the project, and we encourage you to apply again next cycle. Please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions." The office of Senator John Houston. So if there is a benefit for the current, for our current project for the water lines next cycle, then I will look into that, and Ms. Riggs and I will see what we can do about reapplying for it. It's come to my attention that there may be issue with soliciting of private citizens and businesses to help assist in our match payment, or our match funds. So I would like to ask Solicitor Babick if there's any village ordinance or state regulations prohibiting that. There is philanthropic organizations and individuals out there that donate money for one cause and another, and I just want to know if there's anything strictly prohibiting the village council from soliciting for funds.
For public improvements,
Yes.
I am not aware of it. There may be some confusion as it relates to like tax measures or tax levies, where it's very rigid. Ethically, no money can be spent. You shouldn't even use official time advocating for a levy. You can only give general information. So it could be that, but the idea that if you on your time go out and as an elected official and ask for a donation for a certain project, that would violate.
Well, and it's not for, I don't believe it should be for a specific amount of money either, just that there is a need, and if they feel so inclined to assist with it, they're welcome to. It's nothing mandatory about it or anything like that.
I'll look into it because I can't tell you 100%. I can think of a number of examples where it happens, like school boosters do it.
Yeah, right here, Councilman Paul Band donated his entire council wages to the police department. Basically, he saw there was a need and felt moved to do that. Making a need known to those with means would suggest the same thing. They can't help out with the situation if they don't know about it.
Yeah, I'll look into it, but there's no money being spent to solicit, correct?
Correct.
So there's no public money being spent. We're not diverting our road crew or our police department. We need you to not be on patrol and go door to door asking for donations for the park bench, right?
Right.
So I don't see any expenditure or misuse of public funds or resources. I can't see how it would be prohibited for, again, our employees or officials to go and seek out voluntary donations or to ask for that.
Okay.
But I'll look into it to make sure.
Didn't they do it for the historical center?
That's the same.
Probably a private nonprofit that's doing that.
Yeah, one thing I would just say, Councilman Baloo, and we kind of touched on this a little bit in the private conversation, but just maybe we don't call out the potential donors by name.
No.
And, I think in an open council with it, we should keep it vague if we want to discuss things like that, but maybe not.
I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure there's good ways of handling that if it were in fact allowed to do that.
I think it is allowed. I'll confirm that for you. But I I'm thinking in my mind of so many examples where there are direct requests for help from the community for certain public projects. And I don't see how that would run afoul, especially if there's no public money, public resources being diverted to that. But I'll look and let you know for sure.
Okay, until I get a clarification on that, I'll stick to regional municipalities and other government agencies for grants and funding of some kind.
Okay,
Okay.
Didn't the school board reach out to private individuals to help build the
yeah.
new facility up there?
School boosters, they sell bricks sometimes for new buildings. I can think of a host of examples of public entities. I have just never looked into the question directly, so.
Well, the question was raised, and this isn't just, my own idea for doing this. Money is money, and whatever we can get to keep the water flowing is what I'm concerned with.
Right.
So,
I will have an answer to you. I'll email it to you so you can guide yourself according to that.
okay, thank you very much. And that's it for grants.
I do just want to clarify that we're not in danger of the water not flowing. I just wanted to throw it out there. Because, some people will read into things, right? There isn't a danger of the water not flowing. It's just, we acknowledge the fact that we have large projects upcoming, which take,
Right. But like with any infrastructure, it requires maintenance, and ours has been lacking for some time. So we need to up our game a little bit, and it takes money to do that.
All right, takes us into finance.
I'd like to approve invoices in the amount of $81,478.81 presented by Fiscal Officer Gray.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Hines.
Yay.
Snyder.
Okay.
Garland.
I'd like to approve 4/19/26 to 5/2/26 payroll in the amount of $23,284.81. And also approve 5/3/26 to 5/16/26 payroll in the amount of $23,990.85 as presented by Fiscal Officer Geis.
Second.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Hines.
Yay.
Snyder.
Okay.
Garland.
I'd like to approve the April 2026 bank reconciliation as presented by Fiscal Officer Geis.
Roll call, Collins.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Hines.
Yay.
Snyder.
Okay.
Garland. The meeting packet is the permanent appropriations report through May 20th.
Yeah.
Anything else for finance?
Nothing to make.
Yes, for other, I think good. So it takes us to other. Solicitor Babick has provided all council members with a letter in reference to the road conditions as a result of some of the truck traffic from C&D. So brought forward by concerned residents and also council members. So Solicitor Babick is proposing the document that is in front
Thank you.
of council. I read it over. To me, it seemed like a solid document based on facts. So we basically just want council's blessing before sending this off.
I'm good with it.
So we didn't do anything after our meetings and
I had-
anything or?
Yeah, I mean, aware of anything. Henry, have you seen any improvements made to like a wash down of the trucks or anything when they're exiting?
No, I haven't been back there.
Okay.
The trucks that are coming out doesn't seem to be carrying anything onto the roads.
Right.
I haven't been back there to see what's going on.
Did you say it doesn't seem to be carrying anything or does?
Doesn't. The roads seem to be cleared up after that incident. I will say that, but I don't know what they got going on back in the yard. I haven't been back there.
What do you see, Mr. Shulman? Can I speak? You live right there, yeah.
It's, the mud issue has been solved. Them carrying, I just talked to Henry about it, gravel, brick chunks, which are hazardous as hell. There's little pieces of extruded brick, red, hard brick. Those I just took the trash out before I came up here, and they're all along the road. They're still laying there, so they're still dragging debris out. The mud has been cleaned up, but it's always been an issue with the trucks. I mean, that's their thing, is their tarp going in, they take their tarp coming off. So all the loose shingle papers and all that, that's a daily thing to clean them out in your yard. But that's,
We'll make them aware.
A lot of times just getting somebody's attention in a way that's indelible is the way to go, because then they know you're serious.
the one I told Henry too, that Randy Fero, the township trustee, he has scheduled, or has a meeting and tour scheduled, I think this week, but he's gonna do that date, or semi-annual or twice a year. So
Is it only
the
us?
township has been on top of it too, so.
Eslich Environmental owns the property. Stark C&D Disposal owns that's the business. And the idea is that it is a licensed construction, demolition, disposal facility. And there's a host of regulations that govern exactly what the gentleman was talking about. as it relates-
Drag out is,
Yeah,
if you want to talk to the EPA, if anybody wants their number, be free to call them, but our concern is drag out. They're not allowed to drag anything out of that
right.
facility.
And there's a host of regulations that govern
Right,
it.
and that's the one we're dealing with.
And the idea is, yes, we will have the ability to take legal action, and I set forth some of the claims in there. But the regulatory threat is every bit as threatening as our, small village with a nuisance claim. The OEPA could, impose fines or violations on them. So the hope is that they just remediate the issue so that it's not a problem for the residents.
But I did get away from I don't know who he is, but he's the main guy I always see going in and out. So he must know who's giving them attention. He did. That's the first time he's ever waved to me in the last, since how long ago we've been fighting this between, that's been 20, 25 years now, but anyway, so.
Council okay with the letter then?
I'm good.
Want to confirm? Okay.
I will send it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for other?
We did that course. We didn't get no paperwork on it yet. I don't Kurt knows anything.
I haven't seen anything. I'll reach out to them again.
I'll vouch for you if they.
I don't want to have to go
Yeah.
again. I'll be sick like Nick.
We able to get quotes on tearing that house down in Worley yet?
The Wall residents,
Yes.
Judge Forcione signed an order granting our motion for summary judgment. I can send it to you. We have full authority to go in and demolish the structure.
So who owns the
Nasty.
property?
She still owns it. Marilyn Wall still owns it. There's a mortgage on it, pretty significant. But the mortgage company had a statutory right if they wanted to step in and assume repairs to the structure, which they didn't do. I've spoken with their attorney on several occasions. So, I mean, we don't have to do executive session to tell you what's in the public docket. I filed a motion for summary judgment. The court has granted it, and I have a judgment entry that authorizes us to do and take whatever steps are necessary to abate the nuisance, including entering onto the property and demolishing it. Signed by a judge, so if there was any issue with a contractor, I can get that order to you so that you can present it to them and say, no, we have a court order that's giving us permission.
If you can email me that court order, that way when I start
Yeah.
getting quotes for that, somebody would ask for it, I have.
We'll do it right now.
So how do we avoid like, I don't know how that works, but like, so we go spend whatever it costs to tear that house down. And then for them just turn around and sell the piece of property.
That would constitute our nuisance abatement costs, and the nuisance abatement costs can be certified to the tax duplicate in the same manner as noxious weeds and litter.
So it would be, so if the property were to be sold, then.
And the problem that we'll run into is, what is the fair market value of an empty lot?
Right.
That empty lot in particular, and we already have, I think there's a water assessment on it. I think the taxes are delinquent. So I don't know what a lot like that is worth in this village, maybe like 20,000, 25,000. Yeah, so our abatement activities will probably blow past the existing tax liens that are already on it. There are options through the Stark County Land Bank through the targeted acquisition program, where if the amount of delinquent taxes significantly exceeds the value of the property, and it has been certified delinquent for 1 year, which I don't think that's the case here, you can go through targeted acquisition, which would include demolition, and at the end of that, the village gets title. It's a longer process to do it, but it is something that's available. I don't think the taxes have been delinquent long enough for that, but I could be wrong. And I'm actually, as I'm thinking through this, I think I already checked that, and we would need to wait until like August of next year. There's also demolition assistance that's available again through the land bank, where they provide a 50% match for demolishing a structure like that. Again, it's an application. The application should be submitted before we demolish, not after. So if there's an interest in applying for that, we should get that submitted. I believe their funding for this year has already been allocated, but they'll consider it in successive years, even for a past demolition. So if we apply now and they say we're out of money, we can be considered in next year's funding to see if we can get our 50% match.
The fire department can use some training.
Not allowed to do that anymore.
We tried that.
So the village would have to front the upfront cost and hopefully get it back if the land is sold, or
That's
through
the
their
only-
taxes, or penalized or something.
For the demolition?
Yes, sir.
Correct. In any event, we are going to have to front the demolition cost. The homeowner is not in a position to do that. And there is still the question of a mortgage that's on it, but the mortgagee, the bank, they're not interested in it. They want to secure their mortgage, but they know enough about the property at this point that it has no value. It has an extensive history that's pretty lurid. So the only way for us to correct is to demolish, certify it to the auditor, and then hope that whatever the value is enough to recoup our nuisance abatement.
What's something like, do you have any idea ballpark?
Around 10 to 15. We did in
To
another
demolish it.
village.
I was gonna say, I think the last one we demoed was $15,000. And we have used that grant before. When we bought the house right here, Brown's old house in the parking lot, we used that. And then, what was the last one we did?
Not up on the corner, right? But he paid for that, didn't he? By East Canyon Cars.
What was it?
Oh, you're talking about Ray Beck's place?
No, he did.
He did that himself. He did the one up here at the, we did one right after we did Brown's right here and got this parking lot.
We had Raymond's next door, and we had the one up by the shop that burned down, we had done with it.
That's what it was. It was the one up by the shop up there.
Oh, that's right. With the
That we
barn.
picked up that corner, yeah, we
They
picked
burned
up
down?
right across the street there. That's what it was.
Well, so if we,
Yeah,
if we got the order to demo it, so then we apply, go ahead and have it demoed then.
we applied and got approved for it before we did those demos. We didn't demo it first. I'm just,
And the application must be made before the demolition, but when I spoke with RPC, and I understood that the funding for this year has run out, I said, well, you're not going to make us wait on approval. And she said, no, you just apply. We just need the application in before you demo, and then reapply it and see if the funding becomes available and is approved.
Because the other thing, right, we could just keep mowing the grass there.
wait, so you gotta look, I'm looking here. We've got a water assessment on there for $8,600 already.
Oh, gee. So that's what I'm saying, I mean, to get that number up, I mean, if the guys are up there mowing it and they keep track of it every single time, you're talking however much it
I mean,
is.
you got $10,000 worth of taxes that are owed on it with assessments already.
That's what I
So
mean.
throw
It's
another
not-
$1,500, you're already more than what that property's even worth.
Right.
Just the bare
But I
ground.
mean, but it's still though, we still gotta keep it mowed. We
Right.
can't just let it turn into a field up there.
Right.
So we could be adding all those things, and hopefully eventually property can just default to us, and we can, more property for the village, the street, the garage.
And we didn't pay to have Ray's done. That was, Bell Stores did that. Yeah,
Bought that.
yeah, Bell Stores paid for Raymond's house.
I wonder what on Burger, or not, or Church, I thought we did.
Mitchell's, right?
He paid for it himself, Jim paid it.
Jim paid for that, but then there was, is it Gantz? No,
146 Church Street. That house was brought, was knocked down.
yeah, but that wasn't, that was your brother-in-law's, but they paid for that. We weren't involved in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they paid for that. The village didn't, yeah.
So Henry, you'll get quotes and just.
That's what you're gonna do, I'll start getting
estimates,
quotes.
yeah.
And we also got $173,500 judgment against the property owner that we'll never collect. So
Yeah.
This for the nuisance and
for the $500 fines each day.
that's. Well, that's what I'm saying, it's just like, at what point does, the mortgage company writes it off and we can just take ownership of that property and stick some more buildings up there for the garage.
I think the garage itself could probably stand, right? It's the house that's,
We probably have a zoning prohibition on accessory structures without
Without
primaries, so we'll
primaries,
create a zoning violation.
yeah, that's true.
The garage, if we would acquire that garage is no use to us.
I would just tear it all.
Makes sense. All right, anything else for
The
other?
neighborhood would like it up there. Nothing, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Third.
Roll call, Colin.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
Tom.
Yay.
Snyder.
Yeah.
Carol.